How you doing?
I'm good. How you doing?
Good, good.
So we have a quorum with you and Sean online and Lonnie here, and we're missing three.
All
But
right. Okay. Morning, Sean.
Good
Sean,
morning, Dad.
How you doing, buddy?
I'm all right. I think I've been sick with that stomach flu going around here.
Really? Oh,
Yeah. I think you missed it since you left.
I got out of Dodge right at the right
Yeah.
moment.
Been like hunched over on and off
Oh, I know
throughout the.
that feeling. Yeah, yeah, it's
So,
crippling.
yeah, so I'll probably keep my video off for the meeting so I don't you don't see my everyone doesn't see my funny faces that I'm making.
I was going to ask you where you're seated right now, but I'll just leave that one hang.
Oh no, I'm on the toilet. I'm just by a window. Yeah.
True
Yeah.
confession.
all right, we're gonna call this meeting to order. Today is June 23rd, Monday. The Crestone Board of Trustees meeting is being held both in person and via Zoom. The time is 9:32. To ensure timely completion of the town's business, the following procedures will be followed. All participants must keep their microphones muted and videos turned off except during citizens' comments or when called on to speak by the board. Per section 7.3 of our procedures and rules of order, we allow 15 minutes total for citizens' comments. Each speaker has up to 3 minutes to speak. Please state your name and address before speaking. If your comments exceed 3 minutes or the allotted time expires, please send your comments to town hall as correspondence for the board's response. If multiple citizens share the same comments, please be brief. Unspoken comments can be submitted to town hall for inclusion as a correspondence at the next regular meeting. Um, will you do a roll call, Miss Ariel Blackwell?
Sure. Mayor Byer,
Here.
Mayor Pro Tempore Paulusi,
Here.
Trustee Maminakis,
Here.
Trustee Raw,
Here. Yeah. And then now the other ones is. Hello. Hi, how are you?
Lakai is absent with notice, Trustee Oglesby is absent with notice. And our Trustee Albright, or sorry, Trustee Martinez will join us shortly.
Okay. She's here. Trustee Martinez? Here. Here we go. Okay, so we do have a quorum, with five of us, two on Zoom, three in person. We are gonna read the vision statement. If you hand it to me, I'll read it today. Take it off. Thank you. Historic Crestone, Colorado exemplifies small mountain town beauty within a community committed to multi-generational well-being. The town continues to celebrate its pioneering spirit and unique diversity through contemporary self-reliance. Crestone's goals are to enhance economic viability, environmental preservation, sustainable living practices, and social responsibility. Thank you. Now we have approval of agenda. Anything that we want to add, subtract, take off, changes?
Yes, when you go to the very back,
Okay.
after the bills. The executive session, I know we don't need to discuss this as an employee performance.
Yes.
I truly believe that we're not following chain of command. This is only his evaluation of himself. It should have gone to his supervisor, which would have added or
Is it in there?
the
supervisors?
the employee, no, it's just the employees.
Huh?
I have one from him that I didn't get it in time.
Okay, cause I just thought we were going, an employee does not come to the board. They go
We
through
did-
the chain
we
of
did have
command
them
of
do it.
supervisor, administrator. The supervisor can come to the board, the administrator can come to the board. But the employee themselves, we don't critique them, we're not out there with them every day, every night. So I just thought it was out of context.
It is, if we didn't have it, but we have it, so you'll
I
make,
do have it, and I just put it on here because I was asked if he had one at 90 days.
okay.
Okay.
It just came in late, or what?
Hmm?
It came in late.
The one from supervisor, yeah, that came in after the fact that it had been created.
So will we still do the?
Yes, cause we've already got it planned with him, he's expecting it, and we can use it during the meeting, we can go through it. During the executive session.
Okay, thank you.
Okay, next we have,
So we have to.
oh yeah, we're still doing the agenda, there's something I would like to add. I know it's gonna take a little extra time, but, under new business, I'm gonna add, or actually, sorry, under. Yeah, new business B, we're gonna come out of executive session and then we're gonna go back into executive session for. A matter to discuss the purchase, acquisition, lease, transfer, or sale of real, personal, or other property interest under CRS section 24.6.402.4A.
So that would be
Under
18B.
18B. So we'll come out and I'll go back in. Okay, and then,
The B would be C and C would be D.
right. And we're gonna try to keep everything, pretty brief. There's some stuff that we might need to talk about, but there's definitely. Trying to keep this brief.
They have to leave at 1 o'clock, I just
Right.
have to.
Well, hopefully we can just get through it and be done by
New and easy.
noon.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, I move that we approve the agenda.
was it, wait, one more second. Is there anything else you wanna add to the agenda?
Maybe discussing the July regular meeting date.
Yes, that was it. Schedule. We need to discuss schedule for July. Under. Could do it under my report. Okay, now we're ready.
Okay, I therefore move to approve the agenda of our meeting today, June 23rd, with additional
Items,
add-ons
or as amended.
as amended. Thank you.
Is there a second?
I'll second that.
Okay. Any more discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay,
Aye.
agenda approved, now we have minutes from June 9th, 2025. Any changes, updates?
I had no edits. I move that we approve the minutes of the Board of Trustees meeting June 9th, 2025.
Your second,
Second,
okay? Any discussion on it? All in favor?
aye.
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 Thank you, minutes have passed. Thank you, Ariel, for doing them thoroughly. The only thing about minutes I would say is somehow going from the minutes to the action to like a checklist of some sort, that if we didn't get it done, we come back to it. That was something that we could do either in like your clerk's report or something like that, like, okay, we said we were gonna do this, in the minutes, so it's like when you're doing minutes, if you just like move over to another sheet, just create like an action step list or something, so. I guess they do that at the county and it's really helpful, because then we're not losing the minutes in, you know, in La La Land or wherever it goes. I don't think we do lose them, I just think saying it'd be more of a system for keeping up with it.
I think that would be right.
Yep. Next we have citizens comments. Anybody online have citizens comments? I see a Christina on there.
I was just listening in.
Okay, thank you. So Christina, no citizens comments. Anybody else? Andrew? Oh,
No.
you have a citizen comment? Okay. All right, moving along to correspondence. We have two correspondence. The first one, I'm sure people read it. Another dog issue. I would recommend that we send it to the code enforcement to deal with. I would recuse myself as far as,
Agreed. Apparently, I don't know, just through the rumor bill, there's not been any barking. I don't know if they've been moved to a different location, but the owner itself proves to be not worthy of pet ownership, because this is not the same two dogs. It's a different pair of two dogs that have been. I want to be able to walk down the street with my dogs on a leash and not be worried about being attacked. Dog issue has always been an issue with this town. It's the owners that I blame, not the critters. But I would just suggest that we send a small note, just reminding them that your animals, you are responsible for legally, financially, the whole shebang. Just maybe kind note. Same with the other correspondence that, you know, we have five days. I would send a kind note to her also. That just says, we're sticking to our 5 events. The music fest takes 2 days, that's,
no, 1 day.
well,
It was the Music Fest 1, 4th of July 1, and Energy Fair 3.
3. And we don't really count the neighbors helping neighbors, and we don't count the fire department. Cause they're kind of their own thing.
Well, they're not all day events.
Alright, but we're not exceeding what our compromise initially was to, you know, that, you know, we're all trying to make everybody happy, and that's impossible.
Does anybody know what any additional special events means? Does that really, does that, I get confused easily when we mean additional. Does that mean there are some that are acceptable, and do we know which
Well,
ones?
they're starting a movie night on the
Movie
first Monday.
Oh, is that what that's about?
Yeah, but that's once a month and
Yeah,
it's after the market. There's no other additional.
Well, during Saturday market, I have noticed the past 2 times they have been playing music off of the stage. And I don't know if that's upsetting her, thinking it's an event. You know, somebody probably needs to talk to her and find exactly what it is, cause it was kind of loud this last weekend.
Was it?
The drumming.
Yeah, the drumming is the one that just echoes through the town.
having no drumming has its own complications too.
Yeah.
And we're all like super fascistically restrictive on certain kinds of music, like it just.
Are they ending at 3:30 exactly? Because that was.
Oh, yeah, they're cleaning up and they're on their way.
I mean, you guys are kind of like
Yeah,
you guys are the absolute forefront of,
Right.
What happens?
They're doing a great job at it too.
yeah, they're cleaning up.
Cleaning up really good. Even the neighbors helping neighbors, they did an awesome.
They always do.
Okay,
Not at this time, but I'd be willing to take a crack at talking to Wendy later.
I would so appreciate
But
that.
it couldn't be now, I'm just jet lagged and then a little bit with a cold and my,
so let's,
Yeah.
well, the events committee meeting is being reformulated. And have a tentative meeting right now for July 2nd at 4. And our Ariel wants to be on that, which I think is really good, because then we can communicate to the attorney to really get this stuff in code. Cause that's really what we need to do, and we're all gonna approve it before it gets, but you were on the event committee for a little while.
yeah.
And I mean, at least for a couple of meetings, but it really kind of just dwindled down to me and
I
Allison Wonderland.
I didn't really realize that it was still existing. I thought that we had accomplished what we had meant to accomplish.
We did actually, we accomplished some stuff, but then now we have to take it to the next level by codifying.
Okay.
So my thought would be, let's send a message back to Wendy saying, we're still following a lot of the same. Or all of the same rules that were created, they're just not
And you can
codified.
hand deliver it.
Not necessarily. I'd like to start a conversation and see how.
Well, they're not codified yet,
Yeah.
and so we're kind of like doing this on the honor system where. We're using some of the same, or all of the same rules, like ending early before dark, or we've cut down five a year, 5 full day events a year,
I find it pretty restrictive.
yeah, we were on the sound, ordinance, I mean. You kind of make a choice when you buy a house to buy in near the center of town too, I mean.
Agreed.
If you buy near the center of town, you have to understand that there's going to be events.
Especially if it's a growing town.
If you guys didn't like it, you could sell your house and
Right.
if I get a good deal and find something more quiet. I mean, I'm sure you don't wanna do that, but you probably enjoy the events, but
Well, we have friends up here, over here, the acoustics are. I don't care a thing, it doesn't bother me.
the other thing was giving people a heads up, and we have been giving people.
Right.
Yeah.
And I don't fully enjoy all the events, but I'll make room for the multi-generational part of the community because otherwise we're killing our town. That just doesn't seem very fair.
Right. We do have to think in terms of all 7 generations that are
Right,
living
right.
at the same time.
Yeah. There has to be fun available of some type.
You guys have any comments online? Dennis, Sean?
I mean,
So I would say we just write a little, thank you for your thing, but we're still following all the, Saturday market. If she's, and we could say, what specific complaints which events are you specifically complaining about?
And I don't know what kind of letter we'll write to the dog complaint.
Well, I know that the woman who wrote it is not in town anymore, and there was some, but at the same time, I think
So
it's
Gwen
kind of a
has
code
moved.
enforcement. Sorry,
No,
Oh,
so she holds her.
so I would say send the code enforcement to deal with it and him decide how he wants to deal with it, right?
Yeah.
I mean, it's kind of that's his, and then at the same time, like we should really work on our dog thing. I mean, it's bad to have dogs off leash because they tempt other dogs. If you have one dog on a leash and the other dog off leash,
Yeah, there's a brown one that's days are numbered,
I mean, people have the right to.
it's coming through our yard.
I mean, this is an eternal problem that every
Isn't that
municipality
on the tire?
has. It's an eternal problem. Every municipality has it and it never goes away.
Well, it doesn't go away, but I have seen when we have code enforcement on it, it does subside.
I agree that we continue to stay on it,
I mean, one thing you guys can do is if you see dogs loose, take a picture, send it to town hall, and then at least Ariel has it on file. And then if we see it, it's an instant ticket. Yes, Dennis?
oh, I just want to, in that email, there was reference to stopping someone from owning a dog. I don't think legally we can do something like that.
It's just.
Oh.
I knew that it,
Pardon me?
I knew that when I said it. You can't keep someone from having
Right.
children or having a dog. I
Yeah,
know
and
that.
I only mentioned it because that seemed to be the request coming from the complaining party. And I don't know if that needs to be addressed when we write them back, if we write them back.
It's not our, yeah, no.
Right. Okay.
I just want to appease the person because they've been attacked and she's afraid to walk down her own street.
Well, and I can sympathize with that. I have a family member that was attacked by two very large dogs, and I have no sympathy for uh, the owners or the dogs that did what they did. So I take that very, very seriously.
Yeah, I don't blame the dog necessarily.
Yeah.
They just don't know any better.
Yes, trustee Marinakis?
Hi. Sorry, I'm sick, so I've been cutting my video app. I just put it on so you guys could see me. Kim, what's that brown dog look like that's been coming by your house?
Kind of hairy, medium size, got a little white on the, pardon?
White spot on the side.
Yeah, white spot on the side.
It's Ashley's dog, Ashley Smith. His name is
Oh.
Logan.
Ash Smith, I don't
He
know.
lives in Homer's, yeah.
Oh,
My friend that's been staying by me sometimes, she walked with her holding her cat, and she had a dog like rush her with her cat that she almost had.
There for that, and it was that was happened to be Kizen's dog who.
Oh yeah,
that's a fun.
I think she may have talked to her about it. But
Yeah,
the brown one is Ashley's dog. Ashley, like Nathan's has a baby.
so I'm gonna start requesting that we take pictures of loose dogs and send them to town hall and put them on file. That way, if we have a few times, then it's an instant ticket, rather than trying to do warnings and stuff like that.
I'm
Mug,
just gonna.
mug shots. That's pretty cool.
I think
Mugshot.
that the Ashley dog was by my house a couple times too.
I'm gonna say that I would much prefer the complaints come from the citizenry rather than the town council and the mug shots. I would prefer that because it just gets a little.
I'm just saying,
I just
we're citizens too, so I mean,
Right.
if we're having dogs cross our lawn, especially if you have animals.
well, and I have a lot of that problem, but I just feel sort of a. It would be nice to have the people's voice strong and ours even with
Well,
it.
I'm requesting everybody,
Yeah.
not just the board.
I'm gonna express a slight disagreeableness with that.
Alright.
So.
Cause one of the signs you see is coming in town, dogs on a leash.
True.
And the
And that's blankets, everybody.
And actually, we don't have to necessarily send a complaint, we could just send a picture,
Picture, yeah.
and then if you have a few of them, then it becomes.
Yeah, and the orientation of complaints coming from the actual people outside, so it's not too insular,
Right.
is really.
Mary,
Been on my mind lately. So.
you wanna
Can
speak,
you
Mary?
guys hear me? Can you guys hear me?
Yeah,
Hi, Mary.
Hi, guys. Sorry I was late. I just want to make a quick dog comment. Years ago, I was helping Nick and Alicia Chambers revamp that old cabin up there by Wild Cherry. And we pulled down boards and took out the newspaper insulation. And the first newspaper I took out was Crestone 1910 paper. And one of the headlines was Dogs a Problem in Crestone. So I think we need to keep this in perspective. Part of the problem is not all dogs can run around. But Ashley's my neighbor and she does try to keep Loki in. And I think if you send her a picture, I mean, she knows it's an issue and she's trying. And he isn't bad. That little brown dog is friendly and everything, but I know she's working on it, and sometimes her ex has Loki, so it's not always Ashley. That's all I have to say.
okay,
Thank you.
thank you. Yes.
You're welcome.
Yeah,
Mayor?
just kind of what Mary saying that reminded me not all the dogs that are running at large are coming from Crestone. The few small 2 and 3 packs that I've seen on Hemlock appear to be coming from the direction of Baca. So it's not just us and our neighbors. It goes a little bit further. So they need to do some housekeeping as well.
Thank you.
Okay.
Very good.
Let's move on. Did you wanna do I mean, should we have Ariel write a quick response, or should we just have her say that we're having the code enforcement look at it and did you wanna say anything about the fact that town has no authority to really, I mean, we can write tickets, that's our authority.
So it'd be nice if we had a file that we could justify that ticket, you know, with pictures as you suggested. And then if it's not taken care of, then it can go to court and it's out of our hands.
You're a really good letter writer, so I trust that
You are a very good letter writer.
I mean, just even if it's short, very, very
Very
short.
sweet and not blowing off the complaints, but
I mean,
we're here to listen, yeah, we're here to listen and.
pretty clear if we blow things off to a certain degree, there will be more animal attacks, so we can't just like blow it off, you know, we have to.
She can also direct the code enforcement to put more energy towards loose dogs.
I'm going to take my dog for a walk at 2:00.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to presentation of bills. I received the bills for approval. Dennis has received the bills for approval. The only one that, well, there's two that I want to talk about. One is we had approved $500 to have our backflow, like to have the public works work on the backflow up towards the watering system. It's required that we have a backflow protector on it. However, it didn't pass inspection, so then we decided we were gonna maybe upgrade it with some kind of hose spigot and a backflow protector on the hose spigot, but that turns out that it doesn't work. So Marty's maintenance plumbing contractor has given a quote for $584.30 as opposed to $500, so $84.30 more to install RBZ testable backflow for irrigation system. And this includes material and labor. So we need an approval just to go forward with $84 more from what we approved before. So I wanna do that one separate, just because we had already made a motion, so basically just upping to $84 more.
So we rescind the motion and then remake.
No, just approve an additional $84 on the motion. 30 cents.
On the attorney's bill.
Well, that we're working on this one,
First, so we're just gonna work on the one,
just this one to approve.
yeah. Well,
Please.
that sounds fun. Should I make a motion to
Please.
approve that one? I make a motion to approve the modified Marty's maintenance bill for $584.30.
For the backflow protector on the water system. Second,
Yeah, I'll second.
okay,
I have a comment.
I'm sorry,
I have a comment.
yes,
In that proposal, and I was hoping we get to do it during Public Works, but doing it now is fine. The contractor is requesting some upfront money paid before the work is done. I thought we had a policy that we were not going to do that. It was only going to be paid when services are rendered. Refresh everyone's memory, the contractor before Mateo, who had a proposal in to do the sprinkling system, wanted money up front. We didn't do it, and then it was within a few days that contractor was actually gone. So, you know, if you want to change it with this, I would give that a second thought. Usually if a contractor doesn't have enough money to do the work, they may,
So-
with their own,
Dennis,
Yeah.
it says payment will be due at the time of completion of job on the invoice.
okay, that's
It
contrary to
doesn't
what
say anything about, deposit or anything, so it says the payment will be due at the completion of the job.
maybe I'm mistaken, but I thought on the director's report for Public Works, he was asking for some upfront money.
Well, I'm just reading off the invoice, so I just go with it that way.
Okay,
Yeah, it's spelled do wrong, but DUE is supposed to be not DO, but anyway. They're gonna do the job and then the money is due. Okay, so let's just go with it because I think that, we'll just go with what the invoice says.
all right, fine with me.
All in favor?
Aye,
Aye.
Thank you, Sean, trustee Maninakis. All right,
Thank you.
the other big one is the $2,200 for Russell Survey and Associates. This was, in regards to, block site. West 1/2, lot 5, all of lot 6 and block 27. I'm gonna just request that we ask for reimbursement from when this goes to court. Because it was for, an infraction on the right of way. So I'm asking it to be put before the attorney.
I totally agree because, site survey, that is not our responsibility. That's a property owner's. Why should we get a bill for $2,200?
Well, we're using it as a prosecution,
Well,
we're using it as evidence, so, but at the same
yeah,
time.
I'd hold off on this, cause
Well, we do need to pay it, but we can request the judge, ask for reimbursement because of the violations if.
I think it's well within reason, Mayor.
I would send it to the attorney and say that this is part of the, reimbursements we're asking for from the violations.
There may be more if the engineer gets involved with the, flood area.
I agree, but in the meantime, we do have to pay it, it's our bill, we
Fair enough.
request we pay it.
I'll make a
We're using-
motion. I'll make a motion that we pay the bills as presented.
All the bills, oh, did you have one more question, sorry?
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming this is Wendy's house again.
Correct.
So I just wish I don't have a full knowledge of how this went down, but
I don't either, and I don't think we need to pay this. It's not our.
It is our bill.
if
We
we ask for if we request the work, it's our bill, I agree with that.
We requested it, we had a motion to do it, we need to follow through with it, but we now need to try to get as much reimbursement as we can based on violations.
If I'm seeing it right, which I may well not be, there's just a lot of inefficiency in the process, the way it seems to have gone down.
Well, there is, because, normally you write a ticket and you get either guilty or unguilty,
Yeah,
you know, and then you adjust it, but there hasn't been any. There's a whole nother side to that that's
yeah,
come up at
and
another meeting.
I mean, I'm getting very mixed conversation about the whole thing, so
Well, would you do a little more research into that situation, because have you read that letter yet that we've sent and all that?
I actually don't think I saw that letter.
Okay, so that's the real important part of it.
Yeah. And I remember you said you were sending it to me, and I didn't see it, so.
That I did. Alright, well, send it right away or print it, it's kind of a big deal.
Yeah.
I know.
So I'm a little confused because this escalated, it seems like it escalated in a way it kind of shouldn't have in a way. So that could be either party, and I'm having trouble determining, you know.
If you'd like to, you could also, I mean, Dennis has a lot of information, so I would recommend setting up a appointment to talk to Dennis about it.
Yeah.
Because it was that and then read the letter and
But
do your own research.
I would
Do
just-
your due diligence, otherwise You're just.
Yeah, I'm saying I came in late, I don't have all the information, so something seems a little off, that's it, I'm just.
Will you send it to trustee Martinez as well, please?
That's the only things I can really say about it. So I would just advise that we would be careful about escalating things and try to.
We're not escalating, all we're doing is we are, bringing it putting it into the third branch of our government.
Right, it does seem like it kind of escalated
From town board.
from community to
Public Works.
a problem. And, so, I wasn't here, so I'm not gonna really complain, I'm just putting a few words out, I'll leave it at that.
Okay.
So,
It's something we could discuss also with the attorney in, executive session, so you can get more information.
okay,
So if you want, we can put that on the agenda.
I'd rather a small agenda.
Okay.
I mean, where the advantages from me from here is to go from here forward, not to really.
I would just do your due diligence from the town's point of view and maybe even talk to the attorney if you need to. He's always available. to
Okay,
talk to
okay,
us.
yeah,
Okay.
sounds good.
Okay,
We authorize this.
we authorize it. We need to pay it.
Yeah.
So I need a second for paying the bills.
All right, I'll second.
Okay, any more discussion?
Is this all the bills now?
This is all the bills.
That's good.
I just wanted to kind of throw in that the attorney seems to be, trying to invent some hours for himself,
No.
like.
Even though we're good.
So with the, well, I could be wrong, but just the, the drone ordinance and stuff, he came back and brought back a second time. There are hours going into things that so far that I'm not truly impressed with.
Sure, I
But-
would agree with that.
But besides that, that's the only comment I want.
Yeah, I would agree with that, and, we used to, with Gene, we used to have, unlimited hours, kind of, I mean,
Yeah,
maybe not unlimited, but we had like a retainer, and we paid, I think it was 4,000 originally. And then with Seth, it was 5,000 or something like that, and we decided if we felt like he wasn't doing enough for that, and so and our budget wasn't basically, we didn't have it in the budget to pay over $60,000 a year for an attorney.
right,
So we cut it in half, but then he cut his time in half, or cut his time down. So really, we're in a rock and a hard place with this.
I just wanted to make an observation,
Yes,
so.
and you should bring that up with the
Well,
lawyer.
Drone thing, that ordinance was passed years ago.
He has brought a new ordinance up twice, and he brought it up once and modified it. And those are hours we didn't really ask for, as far as I saw.
Right, so I would bring that up at the attorney's report next time.
Okay,
If there's something that you don't think that we should be discussing, then just say, we don't feel like that's
I just,
proper use of your
some
time.
of the things that I'm new at, I wanna bring up with the general board and stuff.
Okay,
But that sounds good.
all right, all in favor to pay the bills? Trustee Manakis, pay the bills?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, moving along. There's the bills. Oh, one more. Okay, so we are on to treasurer's report. Anything to report?
I don't have anything to report this time.
Any questions for the treasurer? One question we had was just whether we can get the credit card statements in our packets at some point.
Yes, absolutely.
Whether it be a screen on. Yeah. Okay. Moving to finance committee report, we didn't have a finance committee meeting yet. I think we're going to have one. Did we put it on a schedule? Or Or did we have it? We didn't have it.
I don't believe we have a finance committee meeting scheduled. We'll double check. We have one tentatively scheduled for Tuesday, July 8th at 4 p.m.
Okay. Dennis, Mayor Pro Tem, are you gonna be able to be at that, or just on Zoom on the 8th, Monday?
I I'll probably be on the road, so I'll try to Zoom it.
Okay,
It's, let me ask, that's in the late afternoon or early evening, isn't it?
yeah.
Okay,
4 p.m.
yeah.
4
Either
p.m.
way, Zoom, yeah, I'll be able to Zoom.
Okay. So my report, we went to the county, it was Ariel, I, and Mayor Pro Tem. We went before the Board of Trustees, or their Board of Trustees in the work session. And we went through the whole, and who else was present? The administrator, our attorney was present, their attorney was present. Wendy Mays, their administrator, and LV, I don't know his last name, but Samora was there as well. The only person who really needed to be there that wasn't was Michelle. She's the Ashburger, she is the public or road and bridge not administrator, but clerk, basically, or office person. So we discussed it, they were really open to us as far as our contract with them, they weren't aware of it, I mean, it's a 30-year contract, we're halfway through it. Now they're more aware, I kind of made the mistake of underestimating our payment to them, so that was something that I kind of regret in the meeting. I thought it was $7,000 or something, and it's actually more like 11,000 per year we pay them. But we're gonna get that adjusted. So the outcome of it was that they recognized that, they're billing us, yet we're not getting any of the reports or any of the work that's being done. And we don't know what's happening. They're just basically receiving the money and maybe doing some snow removal, but they have not done any of the maintenance, any of the work that they're committed to on the contract. So we agreed that we're gonna come up with like a triage list. As well as a yearly maintenance schedule that kind of just. I mean, obviously, they owe us. I don't know if they're gonna admit to that, but when we don't get the reports and we find out, cause they said they're gonna still give us the reports for the past 5 years. But if we don't get those reports, we're gonna claim that they owe us some time for all the payments we've made to them. Right now, they're claiming that we owe them money. So, yeah,
Classic.
yeah, it's classic. So the nice thing is we're on top of it, they're on top of it, we just have to meet on it, when Mayor Pro Tem Pazlusny gets back. Or maybe even before, we're gonna have to meet and a work session or something and discuss the priorities. Did we make a meeting yet, or we're still looking at making a meeting on that?
For public works?
For public works and the road maintenance plan.
Yes, that meeting is scheduled for. I believe it's July 2nd. I don't know when Brian calendar.
Okay. July 2nd at 4 p.m. There's a Sunday feeding.
No, sorry, Monday, June 30th at 4:30.
Oh. Other than July, okay, okay, and June 30th, I see it, so next Monday. Okay, and anybody are we gonna post that one so that other trustees can show up?
Sure.
Would anybody else wanna show up besides Mayor Pro Tem and I?
We have to go to SWAT.
No. No, we're gonna do this all from here.
Mine totally wandered, what would be?
This is on the Huff Fund maintenance schedule and triage,
And what day would it be?
Monday, the 30th at
Remember?
4:30.
That would be in Salon
No, here,
here.
if you want to, we can just post it.
I would like the option of.
Okay, so we'll do a notice. It's gonna be a work session.
Look to make the list for the triage.
I mean, we're, one thing we really pushed towards at that meeting was, if you don't mind muting your cameras and audio, if you're not on? One thing we pushed for was to have our streets safer. And so safety is kind of one of the priorities.
That's our responsibility.
It's our responsibility, and they understand that, and that that was one of the biggest points we made, was that because of the lack of work that the county has provided with the money that we've given them, our streets have become less safe. And so it's definitely a big deal. And, one thing that Ariel and I are discussing a lot is this campaign to slow down our streets in other ways, and maybe look at getting a sales tax grant that has signs included, has a creative way of trying to get people to recognize that our streets are becoming more unsafe. So we need to name it, and I thought it was something like Keep Crestone Slow or something like that. We don't know yet what we're gonna name it, but it's really important that we put a little effort into this, because our stop signs are being disrespected, our speed limits are being disrespected. Yet the other day I was watching, and these kids literally were flying down the hill on a skateboard at 2 feet above the ground. I mean, and just go right through the stop sign on a skateboard, and kind of like, I'm not saying that they have the right to do that, and they have the right to play. But I mean, they just got lucky that somebody didn't pull up at the stop sign and go right through it.
They've got the right of way and they'll be dead right away.
Unfortunate, but.
Well put.
Okay, with that, I'd like to be at that meeting too with the county, cause when I was public works, I talk to them every day. I go, the crosswalks are getting kind of faded. Next day, they had somebody up here painting them. I go, this sign, the stop signs, they go, they're out of code, cause they gotta have that certain quad reflective tape on them now. And they were beginning to replace them. Just gotta talk to the people.
Sometimes it's just.
I mean, this is. So what we decided at there was that it says on the contract that we actually need to have a maintenance schedule that's agreed on by the town and the county. They haven't done work in a long time. I mean, a few years.
No,
They're
so
asking
you
for.
want to come in? I'm right here.
Excuse me, Mary, can you mute your microphone, please?
Oh, I'm sorry.
Thank you. So we do need to meet. It's Monday at 4:30 here. It's a work session. It's open to the public.
So just as a general question, seems like a request goes a long way in calling them in the past. Do we have any continuity between when you left Public Works and those requests were being made to what happened after that? Does that have something to do with why we weren't getting?
Supposedly, our Public Works administrator has been talking to LV.
Yeah.
And they have been looking into stuff, but I haven't seen.
Maybe a specific request is what's.
It's specific. Actually, it was told to us that we need to create like a real maintenance schedule.
Yeah, okay,
So that would be, what we'll work on. It doesn't have to be a big deal because in actuality, everybody can see what needs to be done.
yeah,
I mean, we just need to get it formalized. What else? I still, I've been talking to the Fish and Wildlife. There was a request about their area out. It's that old pivot they had that creates a lot of dust for the town and it creates a lot of dust for the road T. And so I've been talking to one of the officers at Fish and Wildlife, and he's wants to sit down with us. His name is Ty. I don't know his last name, but so that's coming up possibly because he's definitely interested in working with us on something. And I think if he gets requests from the town or we write something and work with him, that he can pass it on to his superiors and then maybe they'll do something about it. I don't know exactly what, but
he's interested in working with the town on other levels, I got a couple ideas.
well, we do need to
County.
build relationships with our neighbors and Fish and Wildlife is a neighbor and BLM is even closer and then Forest Service as well.
It affects us definitely, but it's not our jurisdiction, it's county.
It is,
Division.
but he still wants to hear us
Right,
because
and a letter from us would be real supportive for our commissioners.
I don't really wanna distract, I hate distracting, but, if, one thing I would really love to do is get a pond dug that dragonflies could be experimented with. And the mosquito control in Alamosa maybe could help support that. If we could get it right there, that would be amazing. So if we could get somebody interested in projects, that would be.
Well, this guy seems, I mean, he's been coming to me every couple of weeks and
They eat mosquito larvae and mosquitoes. That they eat almost exclusively mosquitoes. Thousands of them.
Okay, well, let's have a meeting with him and try to still, Dana was, or trustee Oglesby was working with, talking to the BLM, which I think is still an important aspect of dealing with our neighbors, but that kind of fell by the wayside, so at some point I'm gonna have to direct Ariel, I think, or maybe we'll direct her now to try to reach out to them and set up a meeting with them. There's some stuff, I think the town should speak on behalf of this thing that's happening where a lot of this BLM land might come up for sale to the private. And I don't know if everybody on the board has the same opinion about it. I'm not happy with it. I feel like that land was bought for the public and it should stay in the public. It should not go into the private. So even though, it might not happen, but it's on the map. All this land up here is on the map to be sold. So that will really affect the town. So
Affect the tourism, that's on.
it'll affect tourism, it'll affect, I mean, that trail that they put in on the BLM land is all on that map.
Yeah, it's the first I've really heard of it, but
I could send you the map. I mean, it's extensive.
I haven't seen the map yet.
Extensive throughout the whole country. I mean, it is millions and millions of acres they wanna. I think it's a lot they're trying to do this specifically for resource, like where the federal government isn't accessing a lot of the resources, so if they put it in private hands, they will, but I don't necessarily think that's a good thing. I mean, yeah, they generate money, but and you can talk to our representative, which is Jeff Bird.
You can't undo it once you do it, that's for sure.
Right, it's not gonna go back to the feds. Yes, Mary, you want to speak on that?
Yeah, just quick. One thing you guys might want to do is talk to Manitou Foundation. They just were able, with a bunch of investors and lawyers, to buy Pyramid Mountain out on the Baca and the surrounding. So it's like 35 acres. This evidently was private so it wasn't from the BLM, but they were able to buy it and title it legally to the animals, the plants, what is living there. And Thomas Hall did the legal stuff. And I know he talked to the board. That might be an option to look at. So talk to Manitou. It's very interesting and it's legal and it would leave the land wild. So maintenance would to some degree have to be included, but that might be a way to protect that land.
Okay,
And I'd be happy to try to help find investors who could help buy it.
okay, I mean, it's quite a bit, it's more than 35 acres, it's
Oh yeah,
probably hundreds of acres, really. It doesn't mean that it's gonna come up for sale, it just means that it's in the, it's not wilderness and it's, not protected with layers of protection, so
So will that
well
go
it
up
might
on Congress?
it's part of the
it
bill.
It's a
might
bill.
help town when to just get a report, even a written report from Manitou of how they did it, and maybe from Thomas Hall, just to have in the back pocket in case it does come up for sale.
Okay. I think that's a good idea, I don't wanna be too, I think writing a letter to our congressman is a big step as well. Because they could just shut it down if enough people put a stink up.
That's true.
It says Congress is making more than 250 million acres of public lands available for sale. I'm sending it to Lonnie. Anyway, still my report. I don't really have much more to report since this is just a special meeting, but
Will we be talking about this on any agenda coming up?
well, this would be the time to add it to an agenda if you want.
I would like to get some more information and then we consider a conversation about a fuller conversation
Okay.
about what should be done.
So when we find out exactly when we're gonna do our July meeting, we'll put it on the July event, meeting, whether it be just a letter.
I would do our research and not clog up the.
I tend to agree with that. I mean, just.
Yeah,
I know you can personally talk to the congressman, there's a way to do that. But, as far as, the writing a letter from town hall, that's another story, so. I'm sending it to them.
Just double checking with my adding
I would add it,
and how should I add it?
just say,
How long, what is the?
possible letter
department
to
of town?
congressman and possible research on.
Here.
I don't know, why don't you, do that? I'm sending it to you right now, so you can
Okay.
read everything. And it even has a interactive map, you can go in and see everything,
Yeah,
so. Regarding, the Congress making more than 250 million acres of public lands available for sale.
I'm not so averse to BLM. I'm a little more angry at National Forest.
Yeah, the only protection they have is the wilderness, we're lucky we have wilderness.
Yeah. So, yeah.
Okay, moving along, is there any questions for me as far as, what you guys, any other questions for me? Sean, or sorry, trustee Mamonakis, Mayor Pro Tem, Oslusny, anything you wanna bring up for me?
No. Not at all. But I would just say, I don't think we could be, forceful enough in voicing our opinion on the protection of that property above town.
Okay.
Maybe. Yeah.
Oh yeah, we were gonna talk about the schedule for July, that was the other thing on my thing, so we, Ariel is going to clerk school the week that we normally would have our regular meeting, which is the 14th through the 14th.
Yeah, the 15th to the 18th, that'll be us.
14th through the 18th of July. So what we were thinking was we could have one meeting on the 21st of July. Which would be the Monday, it would actually be the third Monday of July,
The 23rd,
first.
21st.
And Mayor Pro Tem Pasalucci will be back. The other option is to do a special meeting on the 7th. That catches us up a little bit and makes the 21st shorter. Otherwise, it's gonna be one big meeting. I like that one big beautiful bill. It's gonna be one big beautiful meeting on the 23rd.
Looks like I'm available on the 21st.
Okay. Trustee Martinez?
Any day, anytime, just tell me the day before.
So, but what do you guys think about doing a special meeting on the 7th to sort of get stuff out of the way? It's also a Monday. Oh. You're next.
So that would be the same day as planning commission?
Yeah. Morning. What do you guys think? Yes.
Okay,
Is that okay? We do like a short, like a catch up meeting on the 7th?
So we're gonna have a special meeting on the 7th and the regular meeting on the 21st.
Since last time we canceled our special meeting. And we ended up having to call it back into session because we had stuff that was pressing, so 7th and 21st. 21st is our regular, 7th is our special. Okay, you got that taken care of. Mayor Pro Tem Pasalucci, is there anything you want to report on?
No, I do have a question for the clerk about the Public Works report that was submitted, but I think I'll just wait until we get to that part of the agenda.
Okay, I'm gonna make a motion, we go into executive session we're gonna jump ahead. Because
Clerk's address next, agenda.
Oh.
First one.
Okay, so does he have an agenda item that he put on?
He does, it's,
Oh, skate park. Okay. Yes, Nick, why don't we're gonna do you first and then we'll.
Okay, ready, do I move up here?
Yeah, move up there, please. Thank you, Nick.
Right, thanks for having me.
Yes,
My name is Nick Carpenter, I live at the Baca, 165 Moonlight is my address. We talked about this the first time in 2022. And I left for a little bit, now I'm back and fully committed back to this project again. Willing to head it up and take on the role of leading it and making sure that it comes together, which would be to build a skate park. I was working with Adam Kinney before he left, on potential locations. That would be the first step for us would be to figure out where we're gonna put the skate park. And obviously, the easiest would be if the town has a piece of land that we might be able to use, to build the skate park. When we looked at some of the factors, one of the main factors for the town would be the insurance. What we figured out was that as long as we don't build the skate park into the grounds, the insurance is reasonable. It only became sort of unreasonable if you build a bowl and you go into the ground, I guess is what Adam explained to me, that the insurance is very different if you have only above ground features versus in the ground features. The land we originally looked at was back between the bathrooms and the basketball court in the park area back there. There's plenty enough space right there. We also talked about the lands. I think he mentioned that this town owned the land where the people park the milk truck on Thursdays, next to the 2-story tan building, at the beginning of town. So looking at potentially that, right? So obviously from a cost perspective, that's the first thing, is figuring out where we're gonna actually build it. Cheapest would be if there's already an existing piece of land that we might be able to use. Additionally, I've talked to Sean Homer about acquiring a part of his property next to the Merc and putting it there. One of the challenges that at the time Trustee Kinney brought up was the idea of potentially older people maybe selling drugs or corrupting younger people, so for him, it was important that it was in a publicly viewable area. which like he didn't love the idea of it being back behind the basketball court. But you know, for me, I just want it to exist, right? My son's 14. I see the need, extreme need at this point for something like this skate park, which is why I'm willing to put my own time, energy, money into making it happen. So that's number one that we got to figure out is where will the location be. Once we have the location, so I've been working with Team Payne Skate Parks. They're out of Florida, but they're the company who built the majority of the skate parks in Denver Metro. So they built a skate park in Golden, in Arvada, Littleton, the one in downtown Denver, in Wheat Ridge and Colorado Springs. They built a bunch of them in that area. So that's who I would love to work with to build it here in Crestone. So first piece is getting the lands. Once we have the lands, they're going to sketch out potential what it would look like and come up with the budget. Once we have the budget, the land, we have to have the land first, and then once we have the sketch, we can go and Team Payne will help us get some of the funding, if not all the funding. So Tony Hawk Foundation will provide up to $250,000 towards the skate park. They typically only want to give 50% of the total cost. But because we qualify for rural and poor qualifications and some other of their secondary ancillary programs, it's very possible that we could get the full 250. I'm willing to fundraise and put some of my own money and things to help, the truth is I don't know how much it's gonna cost yet, because we need to get the land, come up with a plan, then we'll know the cost. So once we know the cost, we can just, figure out, will the Team Payne budget cover what we need, or do we need more money? If we need more money, I'll put up some money. I'm willing to go fundraise and do like kind of a pyre style, metal plaque for people that donate, some amount of money each, so they can feel great about doing something for the town. And that's it, right? I really would love to see this come together. I know we originally talked about it the first time in 2022. And so that's why I came today is, like I said, the first step would be as a group deciding like, where could we actually build this? Is there a piece of land that already exists that the town owns that might be willing to donate? It could be as little as 1/8 of an acre. I think a 1/4 acre would be better. A 1/2 acre would be amazing. But I'm also realistic, and what's available is like take what we can get kind of situation. And so that's basically why I came today, is just to reopen the discussion around creating a skate park, not necessarily as like how does the town take on the whole project, because that's not my goal. My goal is you guys come on as agreeing to do it. We figure out where we're going to build it, and then from there we can start making some steps, so we can be able to then start looking at the funding, what's the actual cost, and then where's the money going to come from? How much of it can we get from Team Payne, and how much of it do we need to go privately fundraise or look for in other places?
So a few things that came up last time, and I was part of that. I mean, I think it got shut down right when we started talking about the liability of it. The town, being 170 residents per se, we don't really have, it's like if you go to your insurance and you're looking at like per capita, and like basically a town of 5,000 people, it's like that's the insurance that you get specifically for the per capita per se. So per capita, we felt like we were too small, with 170 people to really kind of go out on a limb and really create that kind of liability for the town, where the Baca's up to maybe 2,000 people right now. And I think it just kind of shifted. It was like the town might not be in the position to create that kind of liability for the town, and it was kind of like we didn't really balance that before, because we at one point the town was like, well, we can do anything, we should do anything, and I kind of still do believe that the town has a lot of potential, but I do feel like the kids that are going to be using it are a lot of the kids from the charter school, and I feel like, and they have land that there's going to be possibly a really nice little land swap.
Right.
There is a piece of land that's owned by the town now, but it might go into being part of the school property. It's where that little wavy thing is, right in there. And then you have like it connects into the school. There's like more oversight, literally oversight. And the town doesn't have to have like, you know, uh, responsible people to be monitoring it all the time. It could be more on the school, because it's those kids that are really using it, and we don't have that many kids in our town. We have some, but the Bach is really where the kids live. So it was kind of like, I think the town, I really appreciate your research and I really appreciate your work and your commitment to doing this. And I do agree, the town does need something. It just not necessarily the town's responsibility and liability to do this, It's something, we're really concerned about our streets being safe. We already have kids skateboarding on the streets, and we can't even provide that safety for that necessarily.
Which is a great reason why the skate park should exist, right?
Well,
Because on Saturday market, they're not skating down next to the gas pumps and through the stop signs and stuff that you've already addressed, with the scooters and everything.
Well, they still do that. I mean, they might be skating that way anyways, and I've seen, one adult who skates from the top of the hill here, uses it as his thing, his ski hill. And we can't really stop him. He's just doing his.
Like, is it a money, like when you talk about the liability, is it like from a lawsuit perspective or something like that, or is it the insurance? Like, what is it that's holding you back on that?
So liability is, insurance covers liability, so it's probably insurance cost in the end.
So is that something that we could, like, could I do more research, or I don't know if I'm capable of doing that, but, is there a way to like actually figure out what the actual insurance cost is so that we know what we're talking about versus a possibility of, randomness? We actually have an idea.
We do have a communication with Sursa is the insurance company that covers pretty much, I think there's only one town in the whole state that doesn't get covered by Sursa.
Okay.
Everybody gets covered by Sursa, and then they basically decide, at what level you guys are a liability to them,
Right.
So they charge us accordingly. And if I remember correctly, we did do the research, and that's when it came up that it was like, double or more than double to have a skate park.
And I just wonder if that was when they were gonna build the bowl, because the original plan had a bowl being built.
Right.
And, like I said, this is the first time I'm bringing this back since around 2022-ish.
Sure.
I think for me.
I was part of that, yeah.
And that's when like I said, I remember that piece of originally was, that was like gonna be a no-go, was if we built it into the ground, but potentially the insurance was much more reasonable.
Mhm.
And potentially could happen if it was all only above ground features.
Sure.
We built the snake and I don't know, whatever,
I'm wondering, Ariel, can he reach out to Sursa himself and do his own research, or?
Jay,
Can he reach out or do I have to reach out?
you'd have to put a request to Jay.
Yeah, I have to reach out.
So,
My goal here is not to cause more work for you guys, it's to take on as much work as I can,
Okay.
right, to make this happen, so.
well, let's let the trustees talk, and then we'll move to comments, and then, we do have to move on because Skip is on the clock and he's wanting to work, but we have pulled him. I said to be here at 10:15.
Okay, I appreciate everything you're doing, and I think it would be great. Several issues I have a question with. Have you reached out to the Baca
Not yet, because,
regarding their property? They have a heck of a lot more property than we do.
right, only reason I haven't is because from a use perspective, I know that the skate park would get tremendously more use being in town than randomly out from the Baca,
Yeah, and I'm not referring to randomly, I mean, South Crestone is not that far, and it's wide open. But, not only that, we do have some land in town that we were luckily purchased via COVID funds. But this town hall is going down the tubes. This is not 15 people can sit in this room. We have plans for the property across north of the charter school for probably a public works, probably office, courtroom, whatever, from that, archives, the whole shebang. We have to maintain that property for doing business. So, that's off the table. As far as that little place over there, it's just not gonna be big enough, I don't think, for a skateboard park. Then when you talk about, one question I have is it the grants, do you have to be a municipality to get these grants?
Well, so what Team Pain requires is to have the town has to agree that they're on board with going to the skate park, and we have to have a piece of land. Those are the two requirements before we can go to.
Cause I don't know how you can get quotes from Sursa if you don't know how many square feet or acreage that you're even talking about. Or where's there gonna be bathrooms and those are $250,000.
That's why I thought behind the basketball court was a perfect place, because there is enough land there. We already measured it out and talked to Team Pain about it before a couple of years ago. And the bathrooms already exist there, the park already exists there, there's already infrastructure, it'd just be a matter of adding the skate park into that open, green area that's there about kind of between there.
And keeping little kids out of it, maintaining it. Cause we got a playground right now with really cool foundation. But the kids get to chipping away at it and they're messing it up. You need somebody to keep little kids from falling down in or getting hurt, or druggies moving in and camping out. And there's gotta be some security, some trash removal, water, first aid kit, handy. There's all this involved that it's just a kind of a nightmare to me, just to think of all the logistics, but
I have a 14-year-old, so for me, I'm willing to face nightmares and make it happen, right? Like, I'm not scared of any of the stuff you just mentioned there. It's just a matter of figuring out is it feasible or not? Maybe it's not feasible, but I would love to figure out the numbers and stuff before we just, decide in the air that it's not feasible. We should have actual numbers, actual facts, and then decide off of the facts, not how do we feel, And that's all, that's my.
I'll let Andrew speak for a second. Yes, Andrew?
Okay. One thing is, when you bring up the skateboard park, it's worse than bringing up the swimming pool. Because the swimming pool, you'll have a lifeguard, there's somebody there watching constantly. Skateboard park, there isn't. And that's how they view, putting the skateboard park in, because you're not gonna have direct supervision when it's open. And then you'd have to fence it in at night to keep people out, like you would a swimming. That's what Source is looking at. There's no adult supervision on it when it's open.
Right.
And it's just like the streets out here, it's a dump off place for every child. Well, their folks are off doing something else or out of town and they're just going crazy. I see it as public works for 10 years ago.
I say you're right about the facts. We should, I agree that it is a big liability. That's basically what they're speaking to, is that it becomes more of a liability for the town, that the town doesn't necessarily have the resources to maintain.
Or the land.
Well, we might have the land, but it's also the land that I'm thinking of that would probably make a really good spot would be under the charter school. And that is owned by the town right now, but it's possibly going into this land swap.
Right.
But we can't really make any decisions. What we did already was this easement, and the easement would get carried over to the county, or not the county, the charter school district. And then they would take that easement over if we traded. But then they're having a problem with the liability of our, we have an old dump site out there.
Correct.
And so, I think there is land. I just don't think, I think that you're gonna get stuck at the Sursa level because of the amount of people we have in this town and the way that they do the insurance. If we increase that, it's gonna take us to another level that we can't really afford, nor do we really want to afford necessarily. We don't want that kind of liability for the town.
And is that something that I could take on to figure out what those actual costs are?
Well, that's the thing, is I would probably direct our clerk to call if you can't, and just find out what they think the increase would be.
Because I was thinking that was maybe what Adam was talking about before, where he's like, yeah, we guys have to, it has to all be above ground. So nothing goes in ground. So the people point behind here is, it's not like a swimming pool where it's, somebody's gonna die at night, right? There's nothing for them to fall into. It's all, we're talking about just building above ground features, nothing into the ground.
Kind of like Monte Vista or.
Minus the bowl in the back. I had a quick question.
You guys have that safe trails to school?
Safe routes to school, yeah, that'd
In
be,
the parking lot,
yeah.
do you think it would be at all possible just to put a few features down the sidewalk that runs that half mile?
Well, like I said, it's county easement. It's county, that is a
Yeah.
county easement.
Okay, I was just like, that was whenever you guys were talking about it, that's.
But I thought that, you have that little windy area in there.
Yeah,
It could be a really cool area somewhere in there, and then you have, like I said, the school could put cameras up above, they have power, they could, have oversight.
We were laughing about this the other day, I mean, it would be a great, but
I just think that the school has more of like the responsibility to take care of the children, like we have some responsibility, but we also have to take care of all the other generations, in this town, so it's not like we're isolated around kids. We want the kids safe, we want the kids to be happy, but we also have 6 other generations that are, wanting the same thing. And that was the other thing that came up with the land over on the far side. People who you'd think would be for it became against it because they didn't want it in their backyard. So I'm thinking in terms of like, what's a good public spot that people can, use it, but it won't disturb, residents or whatever. And my opinion would be over by the school, and then that land is possibly gonna be, we're just going through a process right now where we're taking, um, the director of the school is gonna be presenting a new thing for us to look at. And then we have to decide, if we wanna do that. I just think that we're still in our, even though we're an old town, kind of old town, we're still in our young development phase of figuring out like, where our town halls should go, where our very basic infrastructure should go. Just dealing with our water system, dealing with our sewer system has been a big deal. We don't really have that expansiveness right now. We have more of a contractiveness happening.
Right, and again, my point here would be not to cause any additional burdens on the town, right? It's like I'm willing to take on the entire project, come up with the entire funding myself. The whole thing, right? The biggest challenge would be right now is around finding a piece of land.
Right.
So that we can know how much it's actually gonna cost and what the insurance is gonna run. And then figuring out from that point, like, is it something that's feasible for the town? Because maybe only adds a few $1,000s a year, right?
Right.
That's not ridiculous to come up with, I mean, that's, again,
Yeah.
we don't necessarily know each
Excuse me.
other. We're willing to-
Yeah, yes,
Would I be out of line if I asked that we could move ahead with the agenda, please? I don't think there's too much more we can say.
I actually wanted to ask a few questions. I've been waiting.
okay, I'm gonna go with, trustee Roth real quick to just ask a couple more questions and then we can move on.
One, I kind of anticipate that Sarissa has a map that shows sizes and everything for skateboard parks, because I bet they've done this a lot. So you could get a lot of information from them. And I'm kind of on the positive side of skateboard park because it does keep kind of kids off drugs to a pretty good degree. Kids do tend to protect their skateboard parks. We had a pretty successful temporary skateboard park for a couple of years, and kids used it a lot. When kids are using things, I pay attention. They didn't just they ruined it by use, the temporary one.
right.
So I'm kind of for trying to find positive outlets for kids. They're more important than the older people imagine.
Thank you.
And I remember when we had this discussion a long time ago, Salida had a skateboard park, and all they had to do is put a sign up saying they weren't liable.
Right.
So I would like to explore, I mean, if you want to solve problems, I'm into hearing about it. Like, we could start with the problems and see if this guy can solve the problems. I'm totally for it if he can solve the problems. So.
Thank you, yeah, sure. I appreciate your effort. I just, every time it comes up, our red flags go up like liability.
Yeah, absolutely, there's solid red flags, like I said, this is not about like, hey, you guys take this on and figure out making us a skate park. It's like, hey, all I need you to do is be like, hell yeah, we want a skate park too, and then let me figure it out.
Okay,
right?
Well, I mean, one other suggestion would be to go before the town governing, or the county, it's a county district governing council for the school.
I'm getting on governing council, I'm going through that process right now.
It would seem we could talk to the school about that land and see if a skateboard park was built there, they'd be willing to take on the liability after the land transfer or something like that. Just a problem solving idea rather than, we have plenty of problems, but we could kind of navigate solving problems.
I'll work
you know.
on that, I'll work on that. I was at the
Yeah.
governing council meeting looking at the land swap options, so I know what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So-
I just think that like, it would kind of kill two birds with one stone because it would put it, you know, in the town. Still, it would keep it in the town, but it would be off the actual town of Crestone's, you know, liability. It could be more aimed at the kids, you know. They could have skate camp there, they could have all sorts of things that run under the school's jurisdiction as opposed to our jurisdiction.
Okay.
So it's kind of just you know. So it's just another option to look at into, I would say.
So you got the basketball court up there and everything already that kids gravitate to.
Right.
And a skateboard park, which is trying to keep them all in a good area, safe area.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
So I gotta move to go into executive session for the discussion of personnel matters under CRS section 246402. Parentheses 2, parentheses F, and not involving any specific employees who have requested discussion of the matter in open session. Any member of this body or any elected official. The appointment of any person to fill any office of this body or an elected official. Or personnel policies that do not require the discussion of matters for personal or particular employees. And the purpose, the additional details are for the purpose of discussing a personnel matter related to a 90-day performance evaluation of employee Ernest Skip Patterson. No formal action will be taken during this executive session. So we need to post these things on the door. That goes on one door, that goes on the front door.
I can switch to the other as well.
Mayor, get off your ass.
Oh my god. Much meeting. Dennis and Sean, I'm going to send you a Zoom link in your email for the executive session.
Alrighty.
Okay, thanks, Ariel.
You could have handed it to me.